I tried to extend my Airbnb rental in Recoleta, full booked, 6 months out. That's when I started wondering, is this neighborhood really as profitable as everyone says? Today, I'm testing those claims with a real property in this building. Hi, I'm Marina. I'm originally from Argentina, but I spent 20 years in Canada. And this year, in September, I moved back to Buenos Aires with my daughter. When I was looking for a place to live, I chose Recoleta. I've always loved this neighborhood. It's central, it's beautiful, and it's close to everything. I found an apartment in this building on Airbnb, let's call it apartment B, high ceilings, European style from 1935, windows facing inside, away from street noise. The space felt bigger than it was because of those ceilings. I rented for 2 months and I love it. After a few weeks, I tried to extend my stay on Airbnb, full booked, all the way through May 2026. A Japanese traveler had already reserved it. I couldn't stay. That's when I started paying attention. Every time I walked through the lobby, I saw people with luggage, check-ins, check-out, constant activity. And around the neighborhood, tourists everywhere, the cemetery, the museums, the weekend craft fair, cafes packed with international visitors. I knew Recoleta was popular, but I didn't realize the intensity of the short-term rental market here. So I started researching. And here's what I found. Buenos Aires receives about 2.8 million international tourists every year. The United States is the second largest source market, over 300,000 American visitors annually. Where do they stay? Recoleta ranks as one of the top neighborhoods for short-term rentals. The Recoleta Cemetery is one of the most visited attractions in Argentina. Evita Perón is buried here. It reveals it was a fault. Walking distance, the National Museum of Fine Arts, the Recoleta Cultural Center, Floralis Genetica. This is the cultural heart of Buenos Aires. According to the research, one-bedroom apartment in this Recoleta generates yields of 8 to 12%. Those are strong numbers if they are real. But I was living in the building with active Airbnb units. I could test this. So here's what I did. There is another unit in this building, let's call it apartment A, same building, similar size. The owner removed it from Airbnb to allow property showings. But before that, it was operating just like apartment B. List price, $125,000. The unit is 58 square meters, about 624 square feet, 41 square meters on the main floor, 17 square meters in the mezzanine. High ceilings, that makes the space feel bigger. The finishes, functional but dated. The kitchen could use a refresh. The bathroom layout is awkward, but here's the key advantage. The building was built in 1935. In Buenos Aires, all buildings are grandfathered in for short-term rentals. Buildings after 2015 face stricter regulations. You are buying the legal ability to run Airbnb. Now, let's talk numbers. I looked at comparable units in this building actively renting on Airbnb. Average rate $45 to $48 per night. Occupancy 83%, about 25 nights per month. That comes to $11,664 annual revenue after Airbnb fees. Now, operating costs. These are actual October-November expenses from this unit, plus management fees, building fees, property tax, utilities, internet, professional management, cleaning, and maintenance. Total operating costs, $5,616 per year. After expenses, this property generates $6,048 per year in net income. On a total investment of $130,200, that's a 4.6% cash-on-cash return. These aren't projections, these are based on actual expense reports from the unit. The research said 8 to 12%. What happened? So what explains the gap? Management model, that's what you can control. That 4.6% assumes you are paying for everything: professional management, cleaning after every guest, maintenance. That's about $3,500 a year. But if you are here, if you can manage it yourself, you cut most of those costs. Now you are at 6.5 to 7%. What about the 8 to 12% from the research? Possible, but you will need to be very hands-on. Do your own cleaning, optimizing pricing every day, keep occupancy high, and hope Argentina stays stable. The research isn't wrong, it's just base case. So who is this for? Three types. First, you are a remote investor. You want a stable cash flow in dollars. 4.6% isn't huge, but it's real and it's in a prime location. Second, you want a base here. You spend time in Buenos Aires. When you're not here, you rent it out. And third, you are moving here. You want an income property you can manage yourself. You are okay being hands-on for 6.5 to 7%. This is not for you if you want turnkey with zero risk. You expect 10% or more doing nothing, and Argentina instability worries you. This is about cash flow, not property value growth. So here's what I created. I put together a complete analysis on this specific property that's currently for sale. It's called An Investor's Insider Guide to Recoleta. It's free in my school community, All Argentina, link in the description. I'm Marina. After 20 years in Canada, I'm documenting my return to Argentina, seeing it through Canadian eyes, but understanding the local reality. So see you in the next video.